The interstellar transit hub of Nexus 7 hummed with the cacophony of 1,000 alien tongues. Essa shifted his daughter closer to his chest, her small arms wrapped tightly around his neck as exhaustion weighed on his shoulders. The little girl, no more than 4 Earth years old, had been awake for the better part of 18 standard hours, and the journey from the human colony worlds to the galactic core had taken its toll on both of them. "Papa, I'm tired," Maya whispered against his collar, her voice barely audible above the mechanical announcements echoing through the vast terminal. "I know, sweetheart. Just a little longer," Essa murmured, pressing a kiss to her forehead. His legs ached from standing, and the carry bag slung over his shoulder felt like it had tripled in weight. But there were no available seats in the waiting area. Every bench was occupied by beings of various species, all waiting for their connections to distant worlds. Essa had grown accustomed to the stairs. Humans were still relatively new to the Galactic Coalition, having joined only 30 years prior. Most species viewed them with curiosity, some with suspicion, and a rare few with contempt. He ignored the whispers, the pointing appendages, the translated mutters that reached his universal translator earpiece. Look at the Terran, carrying its offspring like that. How primitive. I heard their world was categorized as a death world. Can you imagine? Essa's jaw tightened, but he said nothing. Maya came first, always. A tall, elegant figure approached from his peripheral vision. Essa glanced up to see a Valerian woman, her crystalline blue skin catching the artificial light of the terminal. She stood nearly 7 feet tall, with elongated limbs and large, compound eyes that shimmered like opals. The Valerians were known throughout the galaxy as scholars and diplomats, a peaceful race that had never known war on their homeworld. "Excuse me?" she said, her voice melodic through the translator. "You've been standing for quite some time. Would you like my seat?" Essa blinked in surprise. Acts of kindness toward humans were uncommon, especially from species as prestigious as the Valerians. He looked toward the bench where she'd been sitting, a prime spot near the charging stations and away from the main foot traffic. "That's very kind of you," Essa said carefully. "But I wouldn't want to inconvenience you." The Valerian woman tilted her head, a gesture that seemed almost universal across species. "It is no inconvenience. Your offspring appears fatigued, and you look as though you could use a moment's rest. Please." Something in her tone was genuine, without the undertone of pity or superiority Essa had encountered from other coalition species. He nodded slowly. "Thank you. Really." As they walked toward the bench, the Valerian woman kept pace beside him. "My name is Siri L," she offered. "I'm a xenopediatric researcher. I couldn't help but notice your little one. Human children are quite rare this far from your home systems." Essa settled onto the bench with a grateful sigh, adjusting Maya so she could curl up against his side. The girl's eyes were already half closed. "I'm Essa. This is my daughter, Maya. We're heading to the medical station on Kepler Station 9. Siriel's expression shifted, at least Essa thought it did. Reading alien emotions was still something of a guessing game. "Kepler 9? That's quite far. Is everything all right?" "Routine checkup," Essa said, the lie smooth and practiced. "Just making sure she's developing properly. You know how it is." But Siriel didn't know. Couldn't know. Because the truth was far more complicated than Essa could ever explain to a stranger in a transit terminal. Maya wasn't just any human child. She was special, not in the way proud fathers often claimed, but in a way that had attracted the attention of some very dangerous people. 3 months ago, Essa had discovered that his daughter possessed an ability that no human had ever documented. She could manipulate gravitational fields with her mind. It had started small, toys floating, objects moving on their own, but it had grown stronger with each passing week. When the corporate scientists from Helion Industries had shown up at their apartment, offering obscene amounts of money to study Maya, Essa had known they needed to run. He'd liquidated everything, grabbed what they could carry, and disappeared into the vast network of colony worlds and alien territories where Helion's reach couldn't easily extend. Kepler Station 9 wasn't about a checkup. It was about meeting with Dr. Rashida Chin, one of the few xenobiologists who specialized in human genetic anomalies and who operated outside corporate control. She was their only hope of understanding what was happening to Maya, and more importantly, of keeping her safe. "She's beautiful," Siriel said, breaking Essa's thoughts. "Human children have such expressive faces. It's fascinating." "She gets that from her mother," Essa said softly, stroking Maya's hair. His voice carried a weight that silenced further questions. Siriel seemed to sense the boundary and didn't press. Instead, she reached into her travel satchel and produced a small, luminescent crystal shaped like a flower. "For your daughter. It's a Valerian dreamlight. We give them to our younglings to help them sleep during long journeys. It's perfectly safe for humans. I've researched your biology extensively." Essa examined the crystal, its soft blue glow pulsing gently like a heartbeat. "That's incredibly thoughtful. Thank you." As Siriel placed the crystal in Maya's small hand, the girl's eyes fluttered open. She looked at the glowing flower with wonder, then up at the towering alien woman. "Pretty," Maya whispered. Siriel's compound eyes seemed to brighten. "Sleep well, little one." But as Maya clutched the crystal, something unexpected happened. The glow intensified, swirling with colors that Essa had never seen in Valerian crystals: deep purples, vibrant greens, shimmering golds. Siriel gasped, taking a step back. "How is she doing that?" the Valerian whispered, her voice filled with awe rather than fear. Essa's heart hammered in his chest. He quickly took the crystal, and the colors immediately returned to their soft blue. I don't know. Maybe it's reacting to her biosignature or something." "Human children can be unpredictable." Siriel stared at him, and for a long moment, neither spoke. Then, slowly, she sat down on the bench beside them, her voice dropping to barely above a whisper. "Essa of Earth," she said carefully, "I may be a researcher, but I'm not blind. That child is extraordinary, and if I noticed, others will too." She paused, her eyes meeting his with an intensity that pierced through any pretense. "You're running from something, aren't you?" Essa's hand instinctively moved to the small plasma pistol concealed beneath his jacket. Not to draw it, but to remember it was there. Every protective instinct screamed at him to grab Maya and disappear into the crowd. But something in Siriel's expression stopped him. It wasn't curiosity or greed. It was concern. "What do you want?" Essa asked quietly. "To help," Siriel replied simply. "Because whatever secret you're carrying, whatever your daughter is, she deserves to be protected. And you, Essa of Earth, look like a man who would burn down the galaxy to keep her safe." Essa pulled Maya closer, and in that moment, he made a choice that would change everything. "Then you should know," he said, his voice steady despite the fear coursing through him. "Humans aren't just from a death world. Sometimes, we're the thing death worlds create to survive." End of part 1.